All right, what is up, everybody? Hey, if you were here for my last video yesterday, you know that there was not a lot of great things to say about the Detroit Lions after the win, but they get a couple of huge breaks. In fact, they get 3 or 4 big breaks going into this Commanders game. If there's a team that has a bigger injury struggle than us right now, it's the Washington Commanders, but we're not going to go fully into that. Yes, we'll talk about Jayden Daniels. Yes, we'll talk about a suspension that just happened to what has honestly probably been the best player on their defense this year that will not allow him to play in this game. But before we get into that, we're going to hear from Dan Campbell on our stuff. We're going to hear about our injuries and what he has to say. So I'll play some audio for you in that. If you're new to this channel, my name's Craig. Me and my buddy Chris started this over 4 years ago. We love the Lions. We love talking about them. And it has been fantastic growing in this community with all of you. So thank you so much for paying attention to what we're saying, but also responding in the comments. So let me know where you're at right now. Where are you at? Where are you at with the Detroit Lions? How are you feeling confidence-wise going into the rest of the year? And here's what we're going to talk about. So much of the NFL season, it's simply, I know this sounds routine, but I promise it'll be a little more profound than it originally starts. So much about the NFL season is just about getting wins where you can take them. And when I look at our schedule, right, I see the Browns as it was a gimme. But then you get the Cincinnati Bengals, you're like, man, we're traveling to Cincinnati. It's going to be a tough win. But we caught them at a great time when Browning was the quarterback. Now we're heading into Washington to play the Commanders, and you're like, man, that's going to be a tough game. But now all of a sudden, Jayden Daniels is out. They have a couple of suspensions, or a suspension, a couple injuries, and we're getting healthy. I am never going to apologize for getting a win against a team that is struggling with something. You can't do it. This is the NFL. We've had games where we've struggled with injuries and we found a way to win. We found a way to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Monday Night Football, even though our entire secondary was out. So, no, I'm not going to apologize if we go into Washington and get a win because Jayden Daniels isn't there. But we're starting to get healthy, I think, a little bit at the right time. And here's what Dan Campbell had to say about it.
We're going to start getting some good players back. You know, some really good impact players for us. And you just named, you did Davenport. We're talking about Reed. We're talking about Pascal. We're talking about Rodriguez, Dorsey on special teams. I mean, so we got some guys that are going to start coming back, and that does give you a boost. I mean, that helps you. You know, it only makes your team better, makes your roster better.
Okay, so he's sitting here and he's talking about, some of the impact players that we are going to get back, whether it's Davenport to create more depth on the defensive line, whether it's talking about in special teams, whether it's, obviously DJ Reed coming back here soon will help. Rodrigo coming back soon will only help, and it creates depth. That's one thing we've gotten pretty lucky with. Our linebackers have stayed healthy. And so we have been able to not have to rely so much on the depth at linebacker, but it's good to get it back just in case. It'll be good to refortify that secondary. I think the secondary played admirably against the Bucs. We had the bye week to prepare. There's still some injuries there, and it showed. It showed a few times against the Vikings. Mollett, thank you so much. You were trying as hard as you can, but that deep ball was well underthrown by J.J. McCarthy. That was caught. I think it was Addison that had the catch. And it's one of those things where it's like, man, oh man, that would usually be Meek Robertson in the slot against that. And or Reed, or it would have been Terrion Arnold. It would have been one of these guys, or even Maddox or Rock Ya-Sin if they didn't need to give help in the back end. So, or if they weren't injured. So these are the kind of big things that's going to help to get them back. That is a good dose. That's a lucky break, right? That we're going to get those guys back. But even bigger than that is what Dan Campbell talked about with the offensive line. This is a 1-minute clip, so I'm going to let you listen to it. But here you go with him talking about the offensive line injuries.
Any updates on Decker and Sewell?
Nothing new other than, nothing sounds long-term, which is good. It's good news. I think it's more about, are they going to be able to practice this week and are they going to be able to play this week? But nothing beyond that, I don't feel like, as of right now.
You see maybe limited at the very least.
We'll keep it going. They're going to talk about more people, but Decker and Sewell, I mean, obviously we'll keep talking about this, but are they going to practice and play this week? It sounds to me like at least one of them is going to play this week if I were a betting man, and that's the only amount of time they'd miss if they did miss. So they're moving in a direction where it is looking better for the rest of the season. These are short-term injuries. Thank you so much. Keep it going.
I guess in practice, I guess.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I don't think either one of them will be able to practice Wednesday. Now, I hope they will. But there again, we just got out of the game. They're pretty sore, everybody that's played in there. So,
Tate, you think Tate's okay?
Yeah, I think Tate will be okay. Yep.
You still think there's a chance you can get Mahogany back this year, Dan?
I do. It's not, for what the injury is, it's a broken bone. So that's, in relative to injuries, that's a good thing. I think will heal up. It'll be stronger than it was before. And so, yeah.
Okay. So here's what I like. Dan Campbell will actually give injury updates a little bit. He'll actually give some injury updates. So here's what we saw. When watching the game, we saw 4 offensive linemen leave the game. They had to come out of the game. Now, Sewell didn't miss any snaps, but if it hadn't been a third down that he got hurt, he would have missed some snaps. But he was able to get back in the game. I understand that. Decker was out a number of plays, was able to get back in the game. Tate Ratledge, I think, missed 5 plays, was able to get back in the game. But you see 4 offensive linemen go out. Only 1 is down. Only 1 is out for the long term. And so I think that is a break. You saw this offensive line getting decimated. I'm also going to argue the point that it's a break at the position it happened in. Coyote Iwasika has played left guard often for this team. He had to start the year last year playing left guard. He played a lot of it, all right? Whether it was with Graham getting hurt, whether it was on the right side needing to fill in. He played a large amount of guard last year. He knows this offense. He's been with this team. He's steadily and slowly, I will admit slowly, improved every single year. If I'm going to lose a position, it's left guard. That's the one I want to lose. I want Tate to continue to grow and continue to get better, and I don't want to lose the tackles. And so that is a big break. Now, when we're talking about breaks, we also need to talk about the other side of things. All right? Commanders linebacker, and honestly kind of heart of the defense, which maybe this is why they're struggling so much, Frankie Louisville has been suspended because he won't stop doing hip drop tackles. This is his 3rd time being fined. 3rd time being fined for a hip drop tackle, leading him to become the first player in NFL history to be suspended under this rule. He was fined for violating the policy after weeks 4 and 8. All right? If it holds, he will forfeit a game check of over $500,000. Wow. All right, so with all of that in mind, there's that. If you haven't seen it and you're squeamish, don't look at the replay of Jaden Daniels' dislocated elbow. He's done, right? So he's clearly not playing in this game. I'd be shocked if he came back this year. This is now Marcus Mariota's team. So we have to look into those types of things and realize this is beneficial for us. I don't like benefiting off of injury, but these are the reality of the game. It is a big break when your opposing team does not have their starting cornerback and their best linebacker in the middle of the defense. It's a help. Plus, we're starting to get healthy. Let's hope that Decker and Sewell are able to go for this one. My guess is that Sewell will somehow be able to play because that's who he is. He's Penei Sewell, and that they'll sit Decker out. They'll sit Decker out, and maybe it's for his knee because he got rolled up on or whatever it is, but he'll also have the benefit of being able to rest that shoulder an extra week, and he'll be able to be good to go coming back after this week. That's my guess. Let's see what happens. I'm not a doctor. All right, thanks for watching. Hit that record button if you haven't. Record. That's not what you want to do. All right. Hey, if you want to record it, I guess that's fine. But I meant, hit the subscribe button. So feel free to do that too. See you.